Everybody doing another episode of Howling with the Wolf. We're here from Indianapolis. I am in I guess a booth of a bar. Trying to talk to you guys. I just finished a story that's coming out tomorrow on Marcus Mariota and what the Titans can learn from the Rams and developing a franchise quarterback. So definitely check that out. I wrote about Matt LaFleur earlier today and basically what you can expect from him, in the words of his old boss, Sean McVay, and why he probably isn't too far about from being a head coach. So here at the NFL Combine, we talked to prospects earlier today. I spent a lot of the day speaking with agents, trying to get a vibe of what's going to happen with the Titans free agency, and also just been trying to get a vibe of what the Titans' vibe is throughout the league. What do they think about him? What do they think about Greg? And I think I've got some good conclusions going forward. So, as always, it's the off season. I'm going to talk to you guys and give you kind of the background, some of the inside knowledge of what I know, and hopefully I can answer a few of you guys' questions. I've got a dinner that I got to run to in a bit, so I can't be long, but I promise when important things come up, I would talk to you guys. So I think this is an important moment in the combine. I'm trying to figure out exactly where the Titans are going forward, what their free agency plans are, and what you could expect from these guys in the draft. So basically, I think a few key things that I'll touch on these. It sounds like I'm underwater. Is my sound kind of muffled? Sorry, I don't know how the Wi-Fi is in here. Is that better sounding? Let me know if that's better sounding. Invisible snorkel. I don't know if the sound's better now. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi a little bit off, but hopefully you guys can hear me. Um, okay, great. Yeah, basically the big things that I gathered from the Titans, particularly yesterday when John Robinson and Mike Vrabel talked. Obviously, we wanted to know about DeMarco Murray and what's going to be his status. I believe there's a good chance that he is going to be released by March 18th when he's due a $250,000 roster bonus. John Robinson is playing the Patriots' way of method and keeping it tight to the vest. He wouldn't give us an answer other than he's under contract. But they were sort of lukewarm with their responses. It was sort of he's been a proven player in this league, and they were really emphatic about what they expect from Derrick Henry going forward. So I think the most likely result, barring a significant pay cut, is that DeMarco Murray is released and Derrick Henry becomes the feature back. Then the question becomes, do you add someone else in the backfield to add more of a receiving threat and a pass blocking ability to Derrick Henry, who hasn't shown an ability to be a three-down running back recently? I asked John Robinson if he thought he could be a three-down running back. He said he did, but we haven't seen that on tape yet. So I think until proven otherwise, I'm going to believe that they go into the draft and try to find them a running back. I talked to Miami running back Mark Walden today, and he told me the Titans had a formal interview with him yesterday, and he said that he believes they're a great fit for him and what they're trying to do with his own scheme going forward. I think that he's one of the guys that would fit really well with this offense. He's a guy you probably can find in the third or fourth round. This is a deep running back class, as you mentioned, Anthony. So you probably could find a guy like a Mark Walden who went to the University of Miami in the third or fourth round. If you get him the third day, that would be amazing value. But he's a guy who could probably come in and be your third down back, your receiving back, a guy who can be a really good mix, sort of your power and lightning to Derrick Henry. Another guy, Sony Michel, who's probably going to go a little bit higher. He may be a second round guy, but he's another guy who could really present that receiving ability. And he said he had a formal meeting with the Titans today. No formal yet, but he's a guy who did meet with them. So those are two guys I look out for. They also had an informal meeting with Kerryon Johnson out of Auburn. He's a guy that has a lot of patience in his game. He tries to emulate Le'Veon Bell. He's another guy that I watch out for as we go into this draft. I do think that they will add another running back as they release DeMarco Murray. The question comes, does that come in the draft, or do they spend money to get a guy like a Deion Lewis or a Jerick McKinnon or someone else to offset the offense? If I were the Titans, I think that the running back class is really deep, and I would lean on that that third or fourth round range to find them a running back that fills the role that they're looking for. And I think there are plenty of backs like the two I just mentioned. Um, I think that's the big storyline coming out of it. Just what they're going to do with the running backs. Um, they got a couple free agents coming up: Josh Klein, um, Avery Williamson, and Daquan Jones are probably the most important ones. I know that John Robinson has had discussions with multiple of these players. I know that he's expected to try to figure out if he can get a couple of them to resign. I think Josh Klein is going to be interesting because he's a guy that didn't perform great in 2017, but he's a guy who plays a very premium position. I understand that he's probably going to try to look for um, high-end guard money. And you could be looking at a situation where you could be looking at what Brandon Brooks got in Philadelphia, which was a 5-year, $40 million deal for about $8 million a year. And do you want to pay that type of money for Josh Klein? You might say no, but if you aren't able to pay that money for him, where do you go? You've got to find another guard to replace him. There's no ready option on the roster right now, so they've got question marks in the interior of the offensive line. One of their potential prospects, a guy that went to Ohio State and actually was recruited by or helped by Mike Vrabel, was Billy Price. He actually was at the combine today, and he suffered an injury while doing the bench press. I was watching him, and he got to about that fourth rep, and it looked like his pec just gave out on him. His feet kind of elevated from the ground, and he immediately grabbed his left pec. It didn't look great. I don't want to speculate, but this could be something that drops his stop, and this may not be something that puts him in the Titans' range for the first round. So the Titans are going to have some questions. Where do they go with when it comes to draft time? I don't think they'll be able to find an edge rusher that fills their needs in the first round. I mean, in the free agency pool. So that could be an area that's not really favored for where they pick in the first round. But as always, guys, I always wait until free agency to do a lot of the mock drafts and all that other stuff that you go in. I'm kind of evaluating prospects, looking at film, and trying to see who fits with this team best. So I'll go to a few of you guys' questions, and then I'll run out of here. So definitely fire away your questions. Let me know what you want to know, and I'll try to get to all that I can. Let's see. Anthony Norman, running back class is way too deep to keep Murray. I agree. I mean, I think there's only one way for Murray to return is if he takes a significant pay cut, something that's going to pay him backup money. And I think Murray's a very prideful guy, a guy who thinks that he still can be a starter in this league. So I don't expect that, but that will be the only route where I expected Murray to come back. Rashad Penny is a very good player out of San Diego State. He's a complete back. I talked to him today, and he said that he thinks that he's one of the best, if not the best, three-down back in the draft class. And in my opinion, Saquon Barkley is far and away the number one three-down back in the class. But Rashad Penny might not be too far behind the pack. You know, he may be the third or fourth best three-down back. You know, with Ronald Jones also in that mix as well. So he's a guy who can probably be there in the second round and give you sort of what you wanted to be back. The question then becomes, what do you do if Derrick Henry is unhappy with splitting the role again? I talked to two people who are very familiar with the Titans running back room, and they told me that Derrick Henry would have a serious problem if the Titans made him play second fiddle, and he wouldn't be happy if he had to split the role again for the third consecutive season. So you have to weigh that when you make your roster decisions. Obviously, you're trying to make this team better regardless. But if you bring in a draft prospect in first or second round, you're going to find a situation where Derrick Henry may feel like you don't believe in him, and he's going to leave after his contract. So in a sense, you may have to decide, do we want a complimentary back as far as a true backup, or do we want a guy that's going to split role with Derrick Henry like DeMarco Murray did? And if you choose the latter option, you risk losing him in 2 years when his contract's up. So all that's in consideration. The Titans know a good bit of this, but it'll be intriguing to see how they move forward at that running back position. Brian, you're asking about Aaron Wallace. I actually talked to Aaron Wallace's agent earlier today, and he told me that he's healing well from injury. He thinks that he can be a role contributor on this team. They do need a bunch of edge rushers. He was a guy that they liked in the preseason. He got in the seventh round, so you can't depend on him to be become that third pass rusher, but I think he can provide valuable depth. I think he can be a guy that makes the roster. Um, and Mike Vrabel talked up Kevin Dodd this week. He thinks that he can still be a player in his team. So if you got Kevin Dodd and Aaron Wallace coming back as depth, that's solid. But I think you still need another young, explosive pass rusher that could potentially be elite in this defense. And I think that's something you have to look at the draft to find. Do you think it's a safe bet the first round pick is for the front seven of the defense? That's my early favorite. Nothing is a safe bet. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans went with a guard, a guy like Isaiah Wynn out of Georgia. He's a good prospect that would fill in as a day one starter at guard. A guy like James Daniel, a center out of Iowa. He's probably going to be a guy that can play center or guard. He's probably a day one starter. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for an offensive weapon. Whether that's a receiver or whether it's a running back. This is a team that has, a variety of different needs, but they're also picking at 25. So, you can't be over here and saying we got to fill this certain position. When you do that, you get in trouble and you pick prospects that don't pan out. So I think they'll go in open-minded, but if I was a betting man, I'd say the first-round pick, I'd definitely lean towards the front seven player. Isaiah Crowell in free agency, I understand that prospect, but I don't think he fills the need of what they want. They need a receiving back. Isaiah Crowell was sort of the two-down back for the Browns, and they gave the ball to Duke Johnson when they needed a receiving threat on third down. You're really duplicating a lot of things if you go with Isaiah Crowell in free agency. So I don't like that option as much as maybe a Deion Lewis or Jared McKinnon. And I'm not sure if they even go that route. Any word on Dodd? I know that Dodd has been working out. He's been working out quite a bit, trying to get in shape. I know that Titans head coach Mike Vrabel sees him as an edge rusher. He talked him up. He said that he didn't bloom as a player until his third season, so he still believes in Dodd if he can put in the effort and the work that needs to transform into a player in this league. I'll probably write sometime next week about Dodd, but the overwhelming view is that they're not giving up on Dodd just yet. I still think that he could be a potential trade candidate come training camp if he's not where they want him to be. But right now, they're going to give him another go. Do you see Cersei as a cap casualty? Absolutely. I think he's a potential cap casualty. Titans could save about $4 million if they cut him. I think that Janoris Cersei, Matt Castle, DeMarco Murray are probably your top three potential cap casualties as we go into the new league year. What is the future of Avery Williamson? If he's cut, does the replacement come from the free agent or the draft? He's actually a pending free agent. He can't be cut. He's going to want real money. The question is, do the Titans wait it out and hope that he comes back, or do they pay him the money before the free agent period? I get the feel that he's going to test free agency. And, if he gets something that he likes, then maybe he leaves. But if he's a two-down run stopper at his core, so I don't know what the market's going to be that fruitful for him. So we'll see. I wouldn't be shocked if he's gone, but I wouldn't be shocked if he's back. And I'll try to get more information on where he is and what he's seeking as negotiations as we go on next week or two. And I'll answer one or two more, then I'll get out of here. As always, thanks, guys. Read my work on ESPN.com or follow me on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe, and I'll update you with all the latest and the unique Titans news that you guys seek and love. I know someone asked about interviews. The three that I know of that I asked. Now, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with the prospects because I had a few other things going. But I know that Sony Michel has an informal interview with the Titans. Kerryon Johnson from Auburn had an informal interview with the Titans. And Mark Walden from Miami had a formal interview with the Titans yesterday. So those are three guys from the running back position that the Titans have shown at least some interest with Walton earning a formal interview, which is the most significant of the three. I think that Walden has a really interesting story. Both of his parents have passed away. He's used that as a motivation for his football career. He has a kid already. And he's a guy that seems really mature. I talked to him today, and he seems like a guy that has his head on straight. He's focused. He knows what his goal is, and he's ready to achieve it. He's a guy I would love to see on the Titans, but it's still early. I got to dig in some more film and see if I can get you guys some more guys that make a lot of sense for me. Janu's health. He's recovering from that MCL sprain. He'll be ready for all-season workouts when they come back in April 9th. Do you need your backyard rake? No, this is just the couch. I don't know. It's really the pattern, honestly. Um, it's like a really fuzzy pattern, which is kind of weird. Um, but yeah, it's the hotel Wi-Fi, so it's kind of crappy. Sorry about that, guys, but it's what I got in Indy. But yeah, I will talk to you guys sometime soon. My next one will probably be around free agency. As always, share this content with your followers, and maybe we'll do this again sooner than later. Thanks, guys. Bye.